So welcome back to another episode, and today I thought I'd show some cool game stuff. Some game stuff in my collection that I don't think I've really talked about enough, some things I've never shown before, some things that have been in the background here that I've never given an explanation on. Maybe sometimes 10 years ago I did, but a lot of people have been asking, so I thought I'd show some of this stuff and try to explain it. Now let's start off with the first thing here, and this is, look at this, it's already kind of falling apart here. The Zelda Sword and Shield. I'll pull out the shield in a second here. Just want to show this right here. And I picked this up, this sword, and this shield right here as well. Maybe around, oh my god, it must be nearly 11 years ago. I was down at SakuraCon, down in Seattle, and this was set up at a table, and I'm like, you can buy this stuff? You can buy a Zelda Sword and Shield? I didn't think that you could do that. This is when this kind of merchandise was becoming available, and I was so fascinated. So I live in Vancouver here, and Seattle's a couple of hours away, and I bought this stuff. I think I spent maybe, it was $150 for both. It was a pretty good deal when you think about it. And I put it into the trunk of the car, and I was crossing the border, and I was so scared that the border guard was going to say, hey, what is that stuff in your backseat of your car or whatever. He never said a thing, which was awesome. He didn't ask me about it. He said, do you have anything to declare? I said, I spent like maybe about $200 while I've been down here. He said, yeah, just go on past. And so I was able to go past the border with a sword and shield. But of course, it's all like toy-like. It's not real. You can't cut anybody with this or anything like that. But over the years, this has gotten worn down. Like, look at this. It's all like gone to hell. Have I shred this so badly? Here in the games room, the answer is no. And even look at this in the back of the shield. It's all taped together. It's gunky. It's terrible. What ended up happening is one of my friends, Kyle, of Mega Steakman fame, wanted to do a live action version of Zelda crossed with Game of Thrones. What an interesting idea, right? So he said, hey, can I borrow your sword and shield for this shoot? And I was like, oh, that would be amazing, because I knew this would be a big production, and I thought this will go to the right hands. So it was funny, I went down to the production while they were shooting it. I was really surprised about how big of a production it really was. It was amazing. So while I was there, I walked up to the guy playing Link, and he was holding the sword and shield. He looked really good in all his outfit and all that, very convincing. And I said, hey, how you liking my sword and shield? And he's like, oh, these are yours? And I'm like, yeah. And then I realized how tattered and how badly they were really working these on set. They were really smashing them around and jumping around. They were falling on the ground and all that. But guess what? I'm not upset in the least, because now this has some battle damage, and it has a place that it was in such a wonderful production. And I thought what they did with getting Game of Thrones and Zelda together in one, I thought they did a really great job. And to see this used in there, I couldn't be happier. Now, the sword and shield is not the only thing that is sometimes in the background here. I also have this Lancer from Gears of War. And I don't think I've ever really given a good explanation about where I got this and the signature that I have on the other side. I'll get right into it. So what is awesome is that there was a convention in town. It was a retro gaming convention. And at the end of the night, they had an auction going on. And they were auctioning things off. Like some stores had donated things to the auction, and they were trying to get some money raised and stuff like that. So I hung around till the end of the evening, and the problem was, I think, they had the auction at the very end of the evening, so most people had already left. And so I hung out, and I was like, man, I saw that Lancer. I'm like, I want to get that Lancer, because Rob has one. He got one years ago, and we used it in a few productions back then, and I was like, I need to have my own Lancer, because I really like Gears of War. So I sat up to the very end of this auction, and this was nearly one of the final items. The great thing is, everybody had left. It had gotten late. Everybody was tired and gone home. They'd done the whole day, and they were like, I'm done. And so it was me and maybe around 20 people left. And so they said, okay, the Lancer, going for 75. And some guy was like, 75. And then I'm like, 100. and they go 100 going once, 100 going twice, 100 going 3 times, sold. And I won it for $100, which is just absolutely amazing. And what was so strange is I walk out of it and I'm holding it like this, right? And some guy, I guess he watched the show, he's like, oh, he goes, I'm walking down the street and he's like, of course, Johnny gets the Lancer. And it was really funny that he called me Johnny and he kind of recognized me from the show and all that. And that I had a Lancer on me at that point. I think this thing is just so kick-ass. And what makes it even more kick-ass is the signature right here. That is Rod Ferguson, one of the heads of Coalition, one of the creators of Gears of War. My friend Victor Lucas had him on for an interview, and I went all the way downtown. I put a garbage bag on this thing because I had to take the SkyTrain, and I didn't think anybody, I didn't want to scare anybody, but like holding this big gun and chainsaw on the SkyTrain down there. So I had a big garbage bag around it, and I got to show up and I got to meet him. A really nice guy, and he signed this for me, and I couldn't be happier. And so you'll see this in the back of the shots a lot of times, and let's see if it still makes some noise. We still have some noise. Okay, so this is a random episode of cool game stuff that I have and things that I really like. Here's another one, and I don't get a chance to show this too often. Right here. Look at this, Fire Emblem, the Sacred Stones on the Game Boy Advance. When Fire Emblem's beginnings were beginning in this country, so people could finally play some of these games. And where did I get this from? I love this. It's a Standee. I got it from Toys R Us back in the day, and I don't know what it was like for you guys, basically all over the world, but for me, I would be able to walk into Toys R Us and point at something and say, hey, when you guys are finished with the Standee, could I have that? And they, what they do? They put your name, a number on the back, and they with a little sticky, and put it on the back of it. And when it's time to throw out, they'd see that, they call you up and say, hey, we got the Standee for you. You go down and pick it up. That's how cool some of these places used to be. I don't think you can do that anymore. I don't think they hold anything for anybody. I don't know if they just destroy the stuff or what. But stuff like this is historic. It really is, and I'm really glad to own it because I really like Fire Emblem. And getting something like this nowadays is impossible. Like, how do you even find something like this? It's crazy. I really like that. Too bad you don't see that too often. That leads me into my next one as well for Standees. I've shown it maybe once, I think in the Resident Evil 3 review that I did. I have another Standee that I love. It's Resident Evil 3, the Standee from 1999. So I've had this thing for nearly 20 years, and what happened is one of my friends, Satan, he was leaving Vancouver. He was moving to Ontario, and he had it in his living room. And he's like, I can't, he goes, I can't store this anywhere. I'm just going to get rid of it. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I was kind of grumblingly taking it. Can you believe it? I'm like, where's this going to go? Where's this going to go? And I put it in the back of a closet, and it stayed there for nearly, oh God, it must be like nearly 18 years, 19 years it's been sitting there. And then when I was redoing this entire place at one point, I pulled it out and I thought, I forgot I had this. I forgot that I had this. And I love it. It's a bit of wear and tear on it now, but it's, again, a piece of history from 1999. And I really like Resident Evil 3, so to have a piece of that now is totally wonderful. Okay, the next item is a really strange one, and I've never ever shown this before, and it's to do with a little game here. Came out on a bunch of systems. I got it on the Xbox 360, and that is Lollipop Chainsaw. A game that realistically was a bit of a flop, but it was a game that I really, really liked. I love the character design. I like the ridiculous world setting, the humor of it all. I thought it was really a lot of fun, and I got a lot of nostalgia now, go figure, when I went down to PAX, the Penny Arcade Expo, and I remember they were demoing the game for the very first time. They had a huge setup for it, and I had myself playing the game and all that, but that footage is long lost on tape now. But I remember playing it going, I can't wait for this to come out. I bought it, loved it. So I was looking for items to kind of buy for it as a collectible, and I came across this. I found out about it, and I guess it's a Lollipop Chainsaw press kit. Now, I didn't get sent this. I bought this off eBay, and somebody who received it sold it. And so I was able to pick it up. So I'll just kind of show you the box here. Love the guy's head there and all of that. Really neat stuff. And it's a silly one. It's a silly one. It's like all these ridiculous. What is this? There's a thing for Angry Birds in here. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. But it comes with a t-shirt. I already have a t-shirt. Some keychains going on there, which is kind of fun. Oh my God, pom-poms, of course, right? Ooh, this is a bit, this is a bit kooky. This is an actual lollipop, and it's kind of like dripping down there a little bit. It's gotten a little bit gross over the years, that's for sure. What is this? And a little megaphone going on there as well. It's a silly press kit. It really is. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. To kind of get you hyped up for all this stuff. It's just more stuff like this in there. It's silly. It's weird. And I personally like it. I guess, oh, this is a poster as well. I like it because I was a fan of the game and I wanted to own something more about the game. Even Kim really liked the game. She even did cosplay of it back in the day for a convention that we went to. But yeah, this is a kind of a neat thing that I picked up. It's weird. I don't recommend it to everybody, but if you're a fan of the game, I picked it up for that reason. So I'm just editing this in because something incredible happened that I wished the camera was rolling because I had no idea. Remember one of the first things I took out of that press kit was this. It was like some Angry Bird thing. I thought it was some Angry Bird thing. I didn't think it belonged in the press kit. I thought it got put in there by accident. And so I'm cleaning everything up. I finished the episode at this point. I open it all up. I had no idea. I really mean this. And so there's like some flyers for like, I guess, the midnight launch event of it. And then all of a sudden, I pull out this. And it's signed by a lot of the team that worked on it. The one name, I was looking at everybody's names and I'm like, I don't know who that is. Because I can't tell by the signatures. But the one name right here, James Gunn. James Gunn. Guardians of the Galaxy fame. I was like, I looked at it, I said, James Gunn. I'm like, well, no. It's the only name I could really read. I'm like, he wrote Lollipop Chainsaw? He had a hand in that? And I had to look it up on Wikipedia. He did. He signed this. It's what a really rare, strange thing to happen. I mean, does anybody else know? Can you let me know down below if you know what the other signatures are? That is just absolutely wild. So a press kit that I thought was pretty okay has now become legendary. Of all the years that I've owned this, I've never known that I had anything signed in it. That is absolutely nuts. So I won't let the Angry Birds, I saw that, right? I'm like, oh, Angry Birds, 7-Eleven. I'm like, that must have got in here by accident. Swear to God, ridiculous, right? All right, this is another one that I think is cool that I didn't know would be as cool as it was going to be. Now, this used to be my favorite controller on the Xbox. I love this controller. This is for Titanfall, that game, and I first picked this up. I loved the controller design. I thought it was awesome. This was my controller of choice for a long time until I picked up, I'll just show the box first of all, the Sea of Thieves controller right here. And I must admit, I was a little disappointed by the game. I understand the kind of fun in it, but it kind of got a little old, a little fast. But the one thing that I really liked was the controller. I thought the controller was absolutely stellar. I thought it was awesome. A bit of glow in the dark thing there. Now, I use this every day as a controller. I didn't think anything about it. This controller is worth something now. It's worth I think it's over $200 to $300. Let me know down below. I don't know how this became so popular that way. I guess it was a limited controller. My understanding is, for me, I feel there's so many Xbox controllers that how can any of them be rare because there's so many controllers, but that seems to be a thing, that these controllers are getting rare. The Xbox has so many that they are becoming collectible, which is fascinating. So I guess this is a collectible item. It's just the one I use every day. I use this with my Xbox Series X even to now. And the last item that I'm going to show today, because I'll do future episodes like this, is over here. And this is a fascinating one. This came unexpectedly one day from Nintendo. It's for The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, a game that I absolutely adore. This showed up. And what happened is, you opened it up, and the game was in there. And it would play a song. The Zelda, you know, the opening theme song of the game. And that no longer plays, unfortunately. I don't know. I don't want to open it up or anything like that. But what a beautiful little collectible. I don't even know what this is called. I don't know what this even is. It was just a showcase for the game itself, and I thought that was a really neat collectible. I really wish the music still played like it did, because when I opened it up for the first time, I kind of got shivers. I was like, you kidding me? This plays? That's just such a neat item, but unfortunately, it does not play any longer. But that's an interesting one. I've never even looked up to see who else got one or where it's available at. I don't think it even is. I don't even know if it was in stores. I think it was just a Nintendo promotional item, that is for sure. So guys, I just wanted to show some cool game stuff that I own and explain a lot of the things, like the Gears of War Lancer. You gotta love this thing. So anyways guys, until next time.